This is Chart.js, a JavaScript library. We will learn to bind this Chart.js in ASP.NET Project via data table and create impressive dashboard like this. We will write code to achieve a page like this, which will have a bar chart and a pie chart and a pie chart in a modal form and a checkbox to show the data and the legends on the chart. The entire code is available in GitHub. The description is given in the link below. So let's get started and start our coding. When you download the code from GitHub and open the project, before running it, make sure that you make this file as a set as start page, and then you can run the project. So we have only one ASPX file in this project, and to start with, we have some plugins and the libraries added at the top of the page. Now I'm using Bootstrap, that's why I have Bootstrap.js. But the most important here is chartmint.js, that is for making chart. And these three are the plugins which I will explain you later. It is only for enhancement of the chart. And your actual code of JavaScript you are going to write in this file. So let's go through the page and understand what it is. So the first part is the checkbox what you saw in the page. This one. Then the bar chart. This one. Then the pie chart. This one, and in the model we have another pie chart. So these all div and other parts you will understand that is for only for design purpose, aligning center and up and down, and the main part is the canvases of the chart. Once the design is done, let's go ahead and see what is our next step. Let's write some JavaScript to create chart. So directly we will not write the code for creating chart which starts from here. We are going to create a function in which we will pass some parameters and use these parameters to create the chart. This is the whole idea, because we are going to pass data from ASP.NET to this chart. So we cannot hard code our data here. So I'm not going to explain Chart.js in full detail. If you want a video on that, I can do that. But the main aim of this video of binding Chart.js with the ASP.NET data. So in Google you will find a lot of samples code, and you can create Chart.js. Very easy it is. If you have any difficulty, please write in the comments. Now coming back to this, there is a function which creates a chart, but with the help of the parameters. That is important to understand. Where are the parameters used? This is the chart context. This is the labels of the chart. This is the two bars of the chart. This is the title of the chart, and this is whether I want to display the legends or whether I want to display the labels. So we will use these parameters like this. So here I have hard coded this. This could also be parameterized, but I have hard coded it here. Now, after creating this chart in JavaScript, our main aim is to pass ASP.NET data table into our chart. So let's see how to do that. Now it's time to pass data table data into the chart.js. Now to do that, we need efforts from two places. One is from the JavaScript written on ASPX page. This one, we will come into details. And the next is the code behind. So the combination of these two will help us to convert data table data, which is ASP.NET server-side data, into JavaScript data, and we will see how it happens. It is important about conversion from one format to the other format and passing it to the chart.js. This is all what we are going to do. The first thing you will write in the script tag, the JavaScript you are going to write in ASPX phase, the first thing you are going to write is a function which is called document.ready, that means that anything written inside this will be executed on the page load at the first time. So we will make a function called make chart, and we will call that function in the page load here. Now let's see what is make chart is doing. Make chart is a function which creates the chart with up two parameters. Now first thing here is the variable, which is the context for chart. If you are a very beginner in the chart.js, you will know that this is the context for chart, which will help us to create a chart.js. And we have a variable which says what is the title of the chart. And here we are going to call our function which we saw in the chart.js, this function. Because we have already coded this, we have given the configuration of the chart, we have created the chart here, but we need these parameters to be passed from these two friends. So here we are calling a function which is here, and we are passing some parameters. Now these parameters, if you notice, the first parameter is coming from here. It is simple, but where is this parameter? Where is this parameter defined? That we are going to, if I find this here in this page, there is no definition of this parameter. Still it is working. Why? Because it is defined in the page behind, code behind. I will explain you where it is. Why in the code behind? You will understand. This is also in the code behind. This is also in the code behind. Now once you have called this chart function, then the same way we are doing for, this is for bar chart, this is for pie chart, and this is for pie chart in the modal form. Now comes the main part. How do we populate or fill these values? That is the most important part. Now let's see the code behind. In the page load, what we are doing, we are calling two functions to create bar chart and pie chart. Now we are not actually creating a chart here. What we are going to do here is we are going to define these variables and fill the data in that, because the data is coming from Oracle or SQL Server. It is a data list or data table or a data set that is coming from the server. So of course that coding has to be done in the code behind. That's why these are defined in the code behind and filled in the code behind. I mean to say, these three parameters, which is the label of the chart, data of the chart, has been defined in the code behind and filled in the code behind. Now to fill the bar chart, let's do something. This is the bar chart function. Here is the data table defined and some data has been filled. For demo purpose, I have done it the hard coded, so at least you can see the data. If I would have binded it with Oracle or SQL Server, you would not see the data. So in the real scenario, in my real project, I have binded with the Oracle, but for demo purpose, this is a data table which has these data from January to June, and these are the actual data of that particular month. After getting a data in the data table, we have to write one function where we will pass data table and what is the column name, whether it is a string or an integer, and what is the JavaScript variable name, this one. So coming back to the data type, string or integer, this is my logic. You can have your own logic. By saying string, I assume that it will be a label for the chart. And if the data type is integer, I will see it is a data. So for that purpose, I have defined this, whether it is data or label. Now let's go inside this and see what is happening here. This is the most important function here, which does the conversion from data table data to ASP.NET array to JavaScript array. So what I said, I will repeat it again. A data table that converts into ASP.NET array that again converts into JavaScript array. So this is the function. Now to explain this function, I have to break here and show you the real execution. So I will break here also in the page load. No need in the page load. So I will break here also. And let's see one by one what happens. Now I will go to the page and press F5 to refresh. Now it will break here and we have a data list. In this data list we have these data table where we have these data. Second parameter is month, string, and this. Let's go inside this F10 and see the first thing what we are doing here is we are defining a ASP.NET array which is empty here, and we are giving the size of the data table to the array, and one by going into the loop we are going to fill this array from the data table. So at the end, so if you see F10, 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 so if I see the value of this, is Jan. Now F10, F10, February, F10, F10, March. So it is filling the labels January, February, March, labels of the chart in this array. So let's quickly fill this all. Now the loop is ended. Now the ASP.NET array is filled with the data. Here what we are going to do is convert this ASP.NET array into JavaScript array. Now we have already passed the JavaScript array name here, chart label months. If you have forgot, you can see here we are passing the name of the variable here. So here is the creation of that variable name. So what we are doing, the first thing, see this portion is for creating label and this portion is for creating data. It is similar one. At the end, what we want a JavaScript array. So let's see F10. First thing, this variable is nothing now, and it is keeping, it has been written that variable JS array name, which is chart labels months, equal to all the values of ASP.NET array. So this is how it is done. So if I press F10, you will see what I get in this. I get this in this. So I have created a JavaScript array in the code behind of ASP.NET. Good. Okay. Now here there is a small problem. It looks like a perfect array of JavaScript, but there is one quotes missing before January and the last quotes missing from June. To fix that, I have written my own logic. You can write your own logic to create a JavaScript array. I have replaced this one with this one. So the January, which was missing a single quote, will have a single quote now. So let's see, after executing this, what is our code. So this looks perfect. Not looks, this is a perfect JavaScript array definition. Once we have kept this definition in our variable, we are going to register here, so it will be used on the page as a real JavaScript array. So this is what we have done once. Now let's see once more about the data. That is also important to understand. So here, let me break here. So after this, it will come here, right? So I press F5, it comes here. Again, we are passing the same data table, but the label we are passing is Asia, but the data type we are passing here is integer, because that is the indication that it is a data, it is not a label. These data. Okay. So, and what is the variable name, JavaScript variable name here? Now let's go inside. Again, we have a ASP.NET array, and let's see after, at the end, what it is filling. So at this point, I have pressed a lot of time F10, so I don't know what is the value now. So it has some, I think it is the end now. Okay. So this array has some values, and the same concept we'll use to convert that into JavaScript array. We have only one line here, and let's see. For example, if I say what is the third value of this one? So we will see 9. What is the fourth value of this array? So that is 53. So that means this variable have correct values, and our JavaScript array name, which we passed, chart data area Asia, is empty now. It is not been created. Sorry, it is not empty. It is not been defined yet. Now we are going to define, and this variable has nothing now. F10. Let's see what this variable have now. Wow! So it is a JavaScript array with the data. Variable name equal to data, and then we are going to register this. So as we saw, we have this variable being defined in the code behind, and the same way these two variables also. Let's talk about legend display and label display. Why I have used this feature? Why did I give the checkbox here? This one. Why didn't I show my data directly on the chart? In my real project, my charts are very small. They are not as big as this demo purpose. So it doesn't look many things on the chart. I wanted it to be cleaner, and then I wrote a code to whenever I want to see the data, the user can see the data. But at the start of the page load, it should be clean and crispy looking. That's why at the first, if you noticed, we will call our make chart with two parameters, false and false. One is for data and one is for legends. This is the data 5470, and this Asia and Africa is the legend. So at the page load, it should be empty. So if I load the page, sorry, it will be clean and empty. But when I check this, so let's see the code for check mark. So let's see the checkbox first. This is the checkbox where we say on click do something, that is JavaScript function. So let's go here. So this function, what it is doing, it is saying that if the chart is checked, then pass true true, otherwise pass false false, and this true true and false false is being used here. So if you search this parameter, you will say display equal to this. So there is a configuration of chart here. If you say true or false, it will be visible or not visible. So the same way labels also work. The same way of the legend, labels will also work. Display equal to the parameter name. So whatever parameter you pass from here, true, false, it will be acting that way. Now the interesting part here is, why did we write these two lines? If you don't write these two lines, the chart behaves very abnormally, because we are reloading the chart, right? We are making the chart again. So what happens in chart.js, it doesn't clear the memory. Some part of the data or the configuration remains in the memory, and it messes up the chart. So it is better to clear the chart itself. There is a destroy method of chart.js, but it did not work in my case. So I wrote my own code by saying that there is no, I'm just removing my canvas of the chart and filling it with space. Now what I'm doing too is the div bar. If you notice, this chart bar canvas is defined into the div bar, and by writing that JavaScript, what I'm doing is I'm filling a space here, and then again creating a chart here, a fresh chart. So everything from the memory goes away. So the same thing is done by in these two lines. And then we make chart. So this is about the checkboxes and the making the chart again. Now let's have a look on the plugins for chart. So the first plugin we are going to discuss is the deferred plugin. What is this deferred plugin? Let me comment this and let's see what happens to our chart. Let's refresh this. Did you notice any changes here? The changes in this page by commenting this plugin is that this pie chart did not wait for us to scroll to a proper position to animate. Let me refresh again and show you. Everything in the page, if the page is very lengthier down there, everything will animate at the page load, which is useless. Person don't see that. The animation should happen when at least 50% of the chart comes above the view area. So to do that, we need this plugin. Now let's see, putting the plugin, what is the difference. There is no chart, in the pie chart is not there, but when I scroll slowly down, it will come. And that's it about a default plugin. Data labels. If you come in this, there will be no data labels displayed. Chart.js has no feature of displaying data labels. A plugin needs to be used for that. So if I refresh this page, of course in our code at the page load we have passed false for the labels, that's why labels will not come, but we have written a code here to bring the labels. See, the labels are gone. So for showing the labels, you have this plugin. Now the last part of our video and the most interesting part is the color scheme. Let me comment this and let's see, if I don't use this plugin, what happens. No colors. This doesn't mean to give color to a particular chart you need to use this plugin. No, you can, in the coding, you can write the color, whatever color you want to write in the RGB or hex format. The colors will work, but I don't prefer to have a color given by myself to each bar chart. That can be done without the plugin by specifying in the configuration. What I want is the ready-made colors like this. The link is in the code, and I use one of them, this name, and use that name in our code in this way. Color scheme equal to this name. So I take the name from this website, okay, and I put it in my code here, Brewer Purzer, and if I see here, my chart will change the color. So that is about color.js. I hope I was able to help you to create the chart.js. I did not go into very much detail, assuming you will be knowing ASP.NET and JavaScript. Just my focus was on conversion of the data table data to ASP.NET array, and from ASP.NET array to JavaScript array, and passing that array to chart.js. Thank you for watching.